Abby, what are you doing?
I'm ironing the curtains because people are complaining that Christopher doesn't know how to
You
iron.
call that ironing? No wonder your son doesn't know how to iron. You don't know how to do it yourself.
Then you.
I told you. You trying to iron my stuff?
The two of
know.
you, shut the heck up.
Okay, just go to your meat twitcher of the week.
What's a meat twitcher?
You don't want to know.
Welcome to the Wrestlingus Show. I'm your host, Cav Manning. It's July 24th, 2012, and my co-host, Faust, on the couch.
Your mom and your grandma, dude? Seriously?
Really?
Mom! What are you doing here?
Leland, this place is a mess.
Mom, I told you it's going to be Faust.
I didn't name you Faust. I named you Leland. Look at you. You're a mess.
Hey. What do you...
Gee, whose beer is that?
Mom, I'm 34 years old.
I drink Diet Cherry Pepsi, Mrs. Faust.
My name is Mrs. Yao.
Sorry. Let's go to Meat Twitcher of the Week! Now! Welcome back. We finally got some law and order here, so let's get on with the show. Congratulations to an old schooler who came back. We have Lita.
Yes.
So let's mark her down on the...
surprise.
Pleasant surprise. Mark her down on the board, please. Cap off. So we put her nice and small here because she's probably not going to be around and probably will never win another one of these. So, but she's on the board, so everybody should feel free to send a Twitter to her and do #Meat Twitcher and congratulate her on behalf of the Wrestlingus Show for making it this week and see if we could start some trend going here. So that's your Meat Twitcher of the week. Lita, congratulations. Welcome back. It is time for the WWE report.
Hey.
Hold on a second. You know, with these moms and grandma, I tell you, being an orphan rules.
Yeah, it does.
Woo! All right, a lot happened this week on Raw's 1000. This show is going to pretty much be all Raw.
Wow.
We got a couple of notes, obviously, for TNA later. But a lot happened this week on Raw. We'll start with the first big thing is Punk flipping heel.
Yes.
And Cena being the first ever to lose the Money in the Bank, which they will say anyone who ever surprised anyone with it has never lost.
You know, because he did the Boy Scout route. And see what happens when you do things right. You don't do the sneak attack. You try to be honorable.
And you see Punk was fighting the whole, I don't know what to do. Should I pin him or not? And he would go for it.
Yeah.
And Rock to the rescue, which I'm saying now sets up SummerSlam, another Cena and Rock tag match against Big Show
And CM Punk.
And it's going to be... Why is he helping Big Show?
Yeah.
They got to go through that whole thing where it's... I don't know if he's going to be full-fledged bad guy. It's going to be... There has to be a reason for what he did.
I guess we'll find out.
So, Raw this week was on fire with plenty of things.
There's so much going on.
New intro. You got your wish with no Nickelback.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's permanent. You know, they said it was just the official theme for Raw 1000.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, they can't come back to Nickelback. They did everything. They got new graphics. They got the new ID at the beginning.
We got a new GM.
New set. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the GM.
Yeah, I think in the crowd took a shit on it, too.
Yeah,
the crowd
they did.
started almost like booing. It's like, what is this? And it's something for her to do, and I guess she's going to torture him forever.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to say that we're going to get Charlie Sheen versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam, too, because it's L.A.
Yeah.
And they're setting that up. Rock comes back and sets up Royal Rumble, which everyone's always said he will win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania. So this is kind of better.
Right.
Because now I'm thinking, how's this for a possibility in my own booker's head? Rock goes against Punk and loses by some bullshit way. He then goes and enters the Rumble later that night and wins it. So then he has another match.
Yeah.
He gets his match against whoever he wants,
That'd
which
be
would
good,
be Punk.
'cause that wouldn't be as predictable as, say, I don't know, Rock beating Punk
and
and win the
Cena.
title, and then Cena wins.
winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
Like it looks
But
like it's going to go.
They could do that, but they might do it the other route where one of the SmackDown guys, wins the Royal Rumble, and then Cena wins Elimination Chamber, because that's usually the pay-per-view afterwards, and then Cena can win the pay-per-view, the Chamber for the right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I guess there's some way, though. It's like I guess we're all expecting Cena Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's just the way to build up to it. Hopefully it's just not completely obvious.
So I don't know. I guess it more so looks like, because all these swerves that I throw in there, it's usually just going to be flat out Rock beats Punk at Rumble, Cena wins the Rumble, and then it's Rock Cena for the belt, and then Cena finally gets his.
Yeah.
Since, Rock's not going to be around forever, and that's, 3-month wait.
Yeah.
And then he'll be back to it. As we were saying, the GM deal, I don't know where they would go with it, really. I mean, it's to have her in the picture. I thought in the background when Daniel was talking to the guys in the suits, I thought he was going to marry her and then say, "I'm your husband, I could commit you."
Yeah, they never even went back to the guys in the scrubs. I'm like, oh. At first you're like, oh, everybody's wearing white. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, they're wearing scrubs. They're like,
Yeah. And then we had Brock coming back, who is completely ripped now and enormous and back looking like his old self. It's
not
like,
as soft as...
Yeah, he got 2 months off and jacked himself. I sit in the gym for years. I look like this. He get 2 months to sit there, and he does that.
Pound wellness.
Very good. He's not under a real contract. I was really laughing. Sean Mooney shows up.
Oh, how hilarious was that?
That was pretty good to see Sean Mooney. He looks pretty much the same, except for a little white on the sides of his head.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised, and I didn't even think of him, is Undertaker coming back.
Really?
I didn't even think
They showed him on the
twice that he was
commercial,
showing.
so I kind of thought he was going to show up.
And no Austin? We don't get Austin, which is bizarre to me.
Very bizarre.
And Nash on Twitter kept messing with everyone, saying, "Stay tuned, me and Austin are coming out next."
Yeah, whatever.
So that's always a disaster.
Yeah, because what do Austin and Nash have in common? Why would they come out together? That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to do. They bring JR back, but not for the main event talking, which is buoy logic. I'm glad he's out there. I want some of him.
For a tag match? And that's it? And he was gone?
We get DX to come out.
Yes.
The full DX, which was fun. I like to see that.
Almost
That was
the
fun
full
to
DX.
watch. Almost a full DX. We didn't have any...
Well, I like how they played it
off.
Like, wasn't there more of us? And I was almost thinking, like, Triple H would bring out the Outlaws and X-Pac, and then Shawn would be like, who the hell are these guys? Because Shawn was never in the group with them.
Yeah, that's when Shawn left and had his back problems.
But that whole segment was great. The little inside jokes. Oh, don't mess with Shawn. He'll lose his smile.
Yeah.
Triple H making fun of people losing their hair.
And then even down to Trish and him in the back with the hammerlock. Because remember, Stephanie...
I was waiting for Stephanie to walk in.
I thought Stephanie would show up too and have it be, reversed like that.
Yeah. Got to get her plug for her yoga in there too.
Yeah, of course. And DDP with his yoga patch on his shirt. I was watching with somebody who used to watch old school wrestling and didn't know any of the new stuff, bored to death. But when all the old timers came out with Heath Slater, she pops and goes crazy about, oh my God.
For Heath Slater? See, I told you he's over.
Yeah, one-man band over there. All I kept saying is, look, he has breasts. The whole time I was watching. But all the old timers came out she knew of. And now the show's great. Beforehand, could care less about the whole show. But... I thought the show overall was very good.
It's outstanding.
I mean, come on, Mae Young's son grown up.
Yes.
That was great.
I don't know. He didn't really look black to me.
You know what? Maybe he's albino, half black, Maybe Mae was cheating on Mark Henry.
Maybe when Maury's done with AJ Styles, she should go over to Mae Young and see what's going on.
Exactly. So that's pretty much the rundown as I see what happened. What do you have any notes on anything else?
There's one other thing I want to mention about the whole AJ being the GM thing. Now, wasn't Triple H removed from being the GM because of his, misusing his powers?
Yeah.
And then Laurinaitis was removed because of, the way he was handling things.
Yeah.
So now the board of directors and Vince are just going to give it to AJ, who's mentally unstable, as they say. Like, I guess that's WWE logic for you.
Yeah, that I think was the only problem in the show is when they went through the whole... Oh, here's the new... It was like, it had no rhyme or reason. Yeah. There was no reason for it. It was kind of a letdown. They were... what was funny is they were trying to actually bring up things from long back, like the whole Mae Young hand deal and all.
Right.
But Ryder bringing up GTV.
Yeah, that was...
That never got settled.
And I like how Mean Gene's like, I wasn't working here.
I wasn't working here at the time, so
hey, man, maybe that's where he got all the info for his hotline.
Spying on everybody, getting arrested for peeping Tom stuff. I would assume it was supposed to be gold dust. That's what they were saying, I guess. Yeah. And that was during the Pillman days when he was with Marlena or Terry at the time and doing all kind of stuff with her. So I thought Raw overall was a very good show.
Yes, very good. Very memorable. I mean, wow, there's just so much stuff happened that...
Yeah, so we'll see if they can keep it up next week and keep the train moving.
Yeah, they got a lot of 3 hours to fill every week now.
Yeah, they got 3 hours. The only disappointing was no divas.
Yeah.
It was like
None.
pretty much nothing.
You got Layla in the back.
Yeah.
But
and we got,
no Beth.
Thank God we got a meat twitcher, otherwise we were in big trouble hurting this week.
Yeah, because nothing on the other show.
Yeah. So that is your WWE report for the week. It's time for Remember When this week, and we're going to make it a repeat of last week's show because we had such problems with YouTube. We couldn't get our show up, but we could get it up on actual computers, but you couldn't view it on your phone. So tweeting it out, everyone checks from their phone. So it was a disaster. So if you wanted to see last week's show, you would actually have to sit at a computer. We know nobody's doing it.
YouTube changed their services, something with their deal where you can't watch on the phone all the time.
And it turns out, apparently, we figured out what happened was we had an ICP song to close the show, and it was so restricted that they wouldn't let us post it on a phone. Of all the outlaws of music, ICP, and that was what caused it.
That's what you get for trying to pull a rib on
I tried to fool him and say I was playing a gay song, Be a Star, and slide in his favorite group instead. And
thought we were playing Call Me Maybe. It tells me we're playing Call Me Maybe on the way back, and you're playing ICP.
Yeah, so it didn't work out. I pull a rib on myself, and so that didn't work. And by the time we figured it out, it was Saturday, and why bother at that point? No one's going to care. So now we'll go back to the Remember When from last week, since pretty much nobody saw it, and it's with Kurt Angle talking about Kane, and he uses derogatory terms, which they would never use anymore because they're all being a star. So let's go to Remember When.
Your Olympic hero is scheduled to wrestle in a match against the man they call the Big Red Retard.
No. Big Red Machine.
Not that I have anything against retarded people, because I don't. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of retarded fans out there that admire and respect your Olympic champion. It's true. And I wish them well. But the fact is, this is a conspiracy.
Uh-oh.
And your Olympic hero does not like it one bit. I don't. I don't
blame you.
Time for the TNA report of the week.
Impact?
This week we had a lot of we had some stuff, and this is finally, here's the big news about...
Hold on. You know, I saw The Dark Knight Rises twice this weekend, and I didn't see the Pope in it. I'm sitting there looking. The first time I'm like, oh yeah, isn't the Pope supposed to be in this movie?
I was looking as a football player. I don't know what he was.
And then I saw it the second time, and I'm like, I'm going to look for the Pope. I'm going to really look for him. I saw a bald black guy, unless it was that guy, but I don't think it was him.
It can't be that, but... Oh, well. Maybe they'll mention it. Or maybe he's on the cutting room floor, because they never mentioned it.
A la Sting in Liar Liar.
Oh, I didn't even know he was supposed to be in there.
On the cutting room floor.
Good knowledge.
Thank you.
So,
sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Thank you. But the big news of the week was that Spike is back on DirecTV, so now we're not busy watching it on our iPhones, which we have the last 2 weeks. I love the people who called to cancel their DirecTV, and I even told somebody, give me a break. It's going to be a week or two, and he actually canceled, and now they're back. Good job, dummy. So, this week, the main thing that started off the show, which I actually got fired up for, and then it was such a letdown, and this is the things that kill me about TNA.
Impact.
Is Storm comes out, and I thought it was great. He says, I'm going for the big dog in this tournament, like a typical good guy. I'm calling out Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's jumped and it never happens. Yeah. Great, thanks. I hate when any organization does that. It drives me out of my mind.
Aces and eights.
And you know, they should call them the Aces and 8WO. Because it's NWO all over again. And it's, what is the connection between... Who needs a connection? Obviously, they'll probably come up with a connection because they're mentioning it.
Yeah.
But it's, how about we're going to come in and beat everybody up. Because we hate everybody. That's the only thing that needs to be said. And we had Rude and Aries go at it, which is another Kiss Your Sister ending that everyone was waiting for.
Yeah.
And it ends with them all being, everyone's, Rude's in on it, and then Rude gets beat up. So it's like, okay.
So we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. The other thing that happened was, which I've been saying since day one, when you were saying this storyline is horrible, and listen, we're still out on the jury's out on that. But I said, if you look back, 2-3 shows ago, unless it was edited out, who knows what I've cut out of this show. is I said, watch this happen where Claire is a bad guy, and this is all a setup, and she's not pregnant. I'm telling you, we mentioned it last week, which probably no one saw.
Cigarette.
She had a cigarette in her hand. This is going to be brought up. There is no way it's not going to be brought up. And if it's not, I'm going to Florida.
You're going to drive to Orlando?
I'm going to drive to Orlando. Because they're going to show the cigarette and say, look, she's not really pregnant, and this is a setup, and it was who's taking the pictures now, and it's going to be, Daniels and Kazarian setting this whole thing up.
Because obviously they're doctored. Well, not doctored, but he's set up because he's passed out.
He's passed out. So, obviously, that's the best part. It's like, oh, you got me pregnant. And he's like, huh? He doesn't just say, listen, I never banged you. What the hell are you talking about? From the get-go. Where she's like, he's telling the truth, AJ, and he's got to be retarded going, about what? What are they talking about in the first place? What do you mean, what are you talking about? And he's completely surprised where she goes, it's your babe. And now all of a sudden she's a bitch.
Yeah, which is funny. Remember
Shoving
the
the
first
papers
time
in him?
she came out, he's Mr. Nice Guy and honorable. But then again, that's because Dixie was there. You notice now she's acting different with Dixie gone. So maybe we'll see what happens when Dixie comes back.
And she couldn't tell him anything like when they were yelling at each other the whole time. Or when she was friends with them saying, I'm a dread. She couldn't tell. She's almost ready to have the kid, right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, it's like, but she still hadn't told him yet until... And then it's, well, how did Kazarian and Daniels even know about it then, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what's... Yeah.
They seem to know. We had Gut Check this week.
We did?
Which, yeah, exactly. And you know what's funny is anytime it happens, I get pissed off. And I'm like, pound AJ Kirsch, the number 4, Gut Check. And we're going to tweet this to them and keep pushing and pushing until it happens. I don't care if the show's on number 150 and he's retired. I'm pushing this thing. So... He needs to get in there. I was annoyed just by seeing the... I did. I cut one.
Fuck, dude.
I was like annoyed.
Christ, what'd you eat?
Hey, listen, we all need fans here.
God damn.
I was annoyed by the fact that he comes... I hate that rah-rah, and it's like, get the hell out of here. No one wants to see
jumping around, bouncing.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
I was like, thank God he got jumped, and now he gets his audition next week. Who cares, So that was that whole deal. And one thing that really bothered me during the whole show was the MMA guy doing the commentary.
Oh, yes.
Shut up and get off the show. It has nothing to do with wrestling. Go away. Keep talking about Belfort, whatever. I'm like, the only Belfort I knew was Eddie Belfort. He was a goalie on the Blackhawks and the Sharks. Like, I don't care about this. And the final thing I even wanted to make a note of is there's a big new guy coming to TNA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You might not know. Chavo Guerrero is going to be on TNA next week.
Pound, nobody cares.
It's one of those nobody cares. I like if that's his music though, it's 100 times better. I like that way better than his.
Sounded like it had a country twang to it almost in a way.
Some evil stuff going on in there, but
it didn't sound
his
Hispanic.
Yeah, his frog splashes are not tight, and it drives me out of my mind. They're very sloppy.
Yeah,
it's like it looks like the Greatest American Hero trying to fly, where it's a mess in the air.
Yeah.
So
it's sad to say, but he wouldn't be on TV if Eddie was still around. You know what I mean?
I thought that he kept his job in WWE because of that in the first place. And it's like he got out of that Kerwin White character because of it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, he's got
Kerwin White, and who was his caddy again?
Dolph Ziggler. Or what was it? It was Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Nick Nemeth. That's what they were doing. So there is your TNA report, and everyone on DirecTV actually gets to watch it again this week. And Spike is back. Who cares about MTV and all that? We need our Spike back. So TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call it. They're finally back, so maybe they'll get their rating up above 1.2.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, good afternoon and welcome to the Wrestlingus show. This is the news, and I'm Leland Zhao. Kev Manning, how you doing today?
Good to see you, Leland. Your mom was looking for you earlier, if you didn't notice.
Mom?
Yeah, I think she got you mistaken with somebody else, but say lovey, you can watch the show.
All right. So, first news story for you. Many people are wondering why Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't on the Raw 1000 show last night. I'm sure you were wondering. In fact,
I did.
I think I heard you and Faust talking about it.
Yes, I did. I was shocked by it. I didn't know why.
Okay, well, Austin went on Twitter today. Actually, he went on his BrokenSkullRanch.com. He went onto his blog to explain why he wasn't there. I guess there was a lot of speculation and misinformation about why he wasn't there, so he wanted to clear things up. He had surgery on July 2nd, and he's currently walking around on crutches. He had surgery on his left knee. So Austin basically just said, look, I'm a 100% ass-kicking machine. I'm not going to go down no ramp limping. I guess he just didn't want to have that image of him. So
have a backstage vignette of some sort. He could have been sitting there when they opened the door looking for someone. He could have been sitting there just cracking beers or, just a quick hit. But I understand that people want to see Austin for more than 5 seconds if you're going to be there. But
so
nice
he apologized to his fans, said that, sorry I wasn't there, and it's his own decision not to be there too. They asked him to be there, and he just said, "Nah, I don't want to do it under these conditions."
You always won, Austin. Next time.
All right, CM Punk, who turned heel last night. He had a bit of a heel incident at the St. Louis airport on Sunday night. When the talent arrived on Sunday, a bunch of fans approached CM Punk and some of the other WWE superstars trying to get autographs. Apparently, one fan was kind of rude and went up to Punk asking for his autograph, and Punk just refused, didn't want to sign for the guy. So, fan was a little upset, and another guy saw this going on and started making a scene, talking junk to Punk, if I can rhyme there.
Talking junk to Punk?
So, Punk was upset with this other guy, went up to him, grabbed his autograph book, threw it in the trash. So I guess this caused a bit of a scene at the St. Louis airport, and the airport police had to intervene to see what was going on, and they said, Punk was very upset, like, oh my God, why are you wasting my time with this stuff? So Punk went on to Twitter and explained, he just said, hey, one person ruins it for everybody, sorry y'all. Mm-hmm. And Ricardo Rodriguez, I guess, was one of the other superstars that was there, too. And he just said, hey, fans go from fan to creepy to psycho real fast.
Speaking of that tout thing, I'm embarrassed because it's like I don't want people to think this is all wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. Because it's always the geeky, nerdy ones, the guys who are trying to do a Rock promo. And it's like, oh, my God. And people see it and they're like, I swear I'm not really like that. Who knows? Maybe we are. Maybe we're just as horrible and we don't know it. We're in geekdom. But I'm just like, oh, God, these guys with the tout. Yeah. Stop with the tout.
These nerds with their...
Call it taut and tighten it up.
These guys on their couch with their living in their mom's basement.
Doing their curtains and all.
Yeah, jerking it. According to TMZ, a sports memorabilia dealer, he filed a police report last week claiming that the Ultimate Warrior took $38,000 from him. I guess he signed a deal. This guy, he sells memorabilia. He paid the Warrior $28,000 first to get a bunch of used gear and signed a bunch of Warrior signed stuff. Then the guy sent him another $10,000 and sent him some belts and some other stuff for the guy to sign. Well, apparently the Warrior never gave the guys the stuff back, took his money.
So even that first batch, he never got anything?
So the Warrior, he never gave the merch back or refunded the guy. So the guy, he filed a police report.
Wow.
And he was originally trying to get a file incrimination charge, and Santa Fe police, they looked into it and they couldn't determine whether or not there was enough evidence. So after investigating, so apparently the Warriors got a bunch of extra money and still has his merchandise.
He was always fast running in the ring, so he could run away just as quickly.
So now this guy's got to take him to civil court, see if he can reclaim his money. And that's all the news I got for you this week.
And that's what's going down in the Wrestlingus news. All right, our show was short this week, actually, shockingly, besides our nonsense in the beginning. You should see how many rehearsals that took, folks. We did not do the Royal Rumble because we pretty much blew through the whole entire show of everything that did happen quickly. So if we're able to do that kind of stuff, we don't need to do it. We would rather you send in your stuff, so you could send it to wrestlingusshow@gmail.com, and we will put you on the show.
Yeah, you don't have to tout. You send it to us.
Yeah, send it to us. Let's go.
We'll give you a minute, not 15 seconds.
Yeah, you get a full-fledged minute, folks. We want you to check out indiegogo.com/Roxer. It's a cool new cartoon. So you want to check it out and see what they have to do. And also, you want to check out @Curtain Jerks. They have a podcast every week about all the stuff that happened in the wrestling world, and you could put it in your pocket and listen on your iPhone or whatever those other systems are.
They're pretty funny.
I like iPhone.
I like to follow them while they're watching the show live. Even though they're watching on West Coast time, they're a little behind.
They're a little behind,
but last night. But hey, they're pretty funny.
We'll invite them over from LA up to San Jose and they can watch on DirecTV and see the shows live. So check them out, follow them, and see what's going on. And obviously, as always, follow us at Wrestlingus Show.
Wrestlingus Show.
And people can't ever spell it. It's Wrestling Us, one word. Wrestlingus Show. You know, it's a take on cunnilingus. It's about what's going down in wrestling.
We
and
shouldn't
people are
even have to
retarded.
explain that.
You know,
Be a star, by the way, too.
I was so worried about this name, and we're trying to come up with names, and we came up with this, and, you know, listen, I blame him. He's the one who came up with that. I came up with Curtain Jerks, and then we found out it was taken, so that went out the window. You guys have a good name, so what can we do about it?
We're jealous.
Yes, so we'll try to end it with a song that does not get banned, so we'll do it from the very, very first show, because that got on, and it was Obi Trice. Hopefully she got some teeth with just the instrumental. So we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully this gets on this time. See you guys.
Can I get a refill?